Hello everyone, I'm Angel Almaguer, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys a little bit about string manipulation. So to start off, what is a string? Well, the most basic answer is a string is just a sequence of characters. For example, here I have a string, MISSO, and all of these characters combined create this string. Now, let's say we want to compare two strings. So here I have this variable string with MISSO, and I have an input here of jOptionPaint. So let's go ahead and run this program, and let's enter MISSO in all caps, just like we have it in the other variable. So here we're comparing test to input. So most of you guys probably thought we would have gotten true, but in reality we get false. Even though this MISSO is equal to whatever I enter here, and I entered MISSO for both of them. So the reason why that is because here we're comparing two memory locations instead of the actual contents of a string. But there is a method to do that. So we have to use this dot equals method in order to compare the actual contents of the string. So now let's run it and enter MISSO in all caps. Look what happens. We get true. Now, what would happen if I enter MISSO in lowercase? It's spelled the same way, but it's false. Why? Because it does not match the contents. Now, what if we wanted to ignore the case sensitivity of it? So there's this other method called dot equals ignore case, and it does exactly what it says. It compares it and ignores the case. So now let's run it and enter MISSO in SpongeBob text. Now it says it's true. Spelled the exact same way, it just ignores the case sensitivity. Now I'm going to show you guys another method called charAt. So this method returns the index of a car. So it returns the position. So in strings, it's kind of like an array. So arrays start at 0. So for example, here the position of the M is 0, then I is 1, S is 2, the other S is 3, and O is 4. So how do we use this in context? So here we're going to try the charAt method. And in here we enter a position. Let's say we want the letter at position 2, which is this S. So here we enter a 2, and we run the program, and it returns an S. So let's try the M now. Again, it's an array, so it starts at 0. So if we want the very first thing in the string, then we enter 0, and we get an M. Now, another useful method is called the dot length method. So this method is used to find the length of a string. So in this case, this string is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. So when we run this, we should get 5, and we do. So this is useful for whenever we want to find the length of the string. One of the coolest methods in string manipulation is a substring method, which this substring method actually breaks up this string based off what you enter. So here we enter two things. We enter the start position and how many characters we want. So let's look at this MISSO string. Let's say I just want MIS. So to do that, I enter 0 because I want to start at position 0, which is this M, comma, and then here I enter the end position, which I want 1, 2, 3 characters. So I enter 3, and I get MIS like this. It's really useful. Lastly, I want to show you guys the indexOf method. So the indexOf method is actually the opposite of the charAt method. The indexOf method returns the position of the first instance of a character that we enter. So for example, if I want the position of the first S, it should be 0, 1, 2. So here I enter S, run the program, and I get 2. Now, let's say we want the position of the O. So what is it? It's 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we should get the integer 4. Exactly. Now, the reason why I think string manipulation is super interesting is because you can actually combine all of these methods that I taught you right now and use them all together and do something really special. So why don't we try that? So I'm gonna make a program that shows the initials of my name. I'm going to start off by declaring a string variable called name, where we will enter our name using GUI. So we're going to use a show input dialog. Here we're going to enter null, which is the position of this graphic user interface, and here we enter the string that we want to show. So I'm going to enter, please enter your name. So this is where I'm going to enter my name, which, let's write it out here. So this is, we're going to make a comment, and my full name is Jose Angel Almaguer. So this will help us visualize what we're actually doing with all these methods that I taught you earlier. So now we're going to declare another string named initials, which is where we're going to be adding our initials to. Now we're going to get into the fun stuff using all the other methods. So here we're going to use the initials variable. We're going to do plus equals. This plus equals just means initials equals initials plus whatever we do. So this is a shortcut to that. So here we're going to do name, because this is the string that we're going to be using. Name dot, and we want the first letter of the string, which is the J, since that is my first initial. So to do that, we're going to use the charAt method, and we're going to enter a 0 in here, since this is the position 0 of this string. And we're done with the first initial. Now on to the second. So we're going to do it again. Initials plus equals, still using name, dot charAt. So to find the second initial, we have to find the space and then add 1 to it, since it's still a character right after it. So to do that, we want the character. And how do we find a space? How do we find a character? We use the indexOf methods. So here in the indexOf, we enter a white space, and we want what's right after that. So that's why we put a +1. And that will give us the A, which is my middle initial. Next, we're gonna use the substring. So we're gonna reassign this name string, and we're gonna pretty much delete Jose and the space. So we're just gonna have Angel Almaguer. So to do that, we're gonna use a substring method. And remember, here we enter the starting position and the end position. So the starting position should be this A. So how do we get that? We got it by the same way we got it up here. So we're going to use name dot index of, and of the white space, and then +1, which is the character right after it. So for the end position, we want it to go to the very end of the string, because we want to include Angel and Almaguer in it. So to do that, we would do name dot length, and That's how we get Angel starting at the white space plus 1 at the A all the way to the end of the string. But it automatically defaults to this, so we can also not include it. Now this creates a brand new string that only has Angel Almaguer and not Jose. Now we need the initial of my last name. So to do that, we're going to use this variable again, initials plus equals name dot charAt, and we're going to use the same thing as up here, name dot indexOf the white space, which is now this one. So whoops, white space, and here plus 1, so that'll give us this A, and we have finished creating our initials. Now we just need a way to print out my initials, so we're going to use a print statement, system.out.println, and we're going to print out this variable here that we initialized, where we added all of my initials using these methods. So let's run it. I'm going to enter my name, and here we go. We get JAA. Now this program should work for any name with a first, middle, and last name. So let's try Hayden Cutie Tran and see what happens. HCT. Perfect. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys learned a little bit about string manipulation in Java, and have a good one. Thank you.